My name is Craig Smith. I'm the men's basketball coach at Utah State University. And it's early February, and so we're about 4.5, 5 months into our journey of the season. And it's been an amazing journey up to this point. We have a tremendous group of young men in our program. It's been fun to get to know all these new guys. We have a lot of new guys in our program, and it's been really enjoyable to get to know them as people, and see what they act like when things are going really well, when things are down, and just to see the growth in our program. It's been it's been a little bit of an uneven year in terms of, I feel like there's been a lot more ups and a few more downs, and just kind of a lot of different injuries. We've had a ton of travel this year, and so we've had to plug and play, so to speak, a lot more than maybe a typical year, where different guys have had to do a lot of different things than maybe they're used to, and our guys have handled that in a first-class manner. And so now we're getting down to the stretch run here, and hopefully we can finish the season with a flourish.
My name is Brock Miller. I'm a redshirt sophomore here, guard at Utah State University. So I grew up in Sandy, Utah. I was born and raised. I went to Brighton High School. I grew up watching all the in-state schools here in Utah, and I've had two brothers playing college, one at Harvard and one at Dixie State. So growing up, basketball is running the Miller family.
Hello, I'm Namiya Skata. I'm a center for the Aggies. I'm from Portugal. I was born in Portugal. I grew up in Portugal. I lived my whole life in Portugal before I came here. The teammates I have here are my brothers for life. The coaches are amazing. They take care of us. They make sure we're good on and off the court. They just try to help us in everything that we need. And I feel that it's a relationship that you want to be a part of.
Oh man, I have so many nicknames because of my bald head. The bald eagle, be smooth. There's tons of them people just throw out and give to me, and so that's kind of where it all started. Was when I was 12, I lost my hair, and it's just grown on me ever since. And all those bald jokes have come about, and I embrace it, I enjoy it, and I think it's great. But yeah, the bald eagle's basically the main one that's stuck with me throughout the years.
I feel that the fans are a lot more connected into basketball than they are in Portugal. Portugal doesn't have a lot of fans of basketball, but that's all right. People love soccer a lot more. And basketball here is a lot different because of the physicality that they allowed you to play with, and the decision-making time that you have. I feel that here you have less time to make decisions, and it's harder to make the right decision.
Coach Smith hates to lose, more than anyone I've ever met.
Good, Brock! Good job, Brock!
Yeah, he's been saying that we need to eliminate losing ever since he's gotten here for 2 years now.
Well, we always want to eliminate losing in any contest that you play, and the whole theory of eliminating losing is simply eliminating losing. You want to defend and rebound at a high level. You have to finish defensive possessions with a two-handed rebound, one and done. You want to play hard without fouling. In other words, when you start fouling, usually you foul because you're out of position. Maybe you lose some discipline because you're lunging or reaching at a ball. You eliminate losing by competing hard, playing disciplined basketball.
Get that rock, get that rock! Keep Shot!
And then on the offensive end is you eliminate turnovers. And there's going to be turnovers in a game, but let's make them earn it, right? And so the point is when you can be really sound fundamentally, when you play really connected as a team, whether it's on the offensive end or the defensive end, then you make the other team have to beat you.
I really loved the way how they made it, and the way that it influences other teams' free throws shooting. I feel that that's one of the most marking aspects of the spectrum for me, and I just feel great for being the one that they chose to put a cutout of.
And the game of basketball is a beautiful game. Like, there's so many great players at this level. There's so many great teams, but you want to make them earn every basket that they make. You want to make it where you contest every shot. You want to have the discipline where you play connected on the offensive end, where you trust each other and you share the ball and you pass the ball. And with that, you know, we give our guys a lot of freedom. And with more freedom comes more responsibility. And so guys have to be able to handle those type of obligations. And so when you lose a game, you know, you're not going to win every game for the most part. So when you walk out of the gym, you want to be able to say, you know what, they beat us tonight. We didn't beat ourselves. And so you want to make them earn victory. And we have the motto every night we go out, let's go earn victory, because every game is one of its own. And it doesn't matter if you're playing the #1 team in the country or the number 353 team in the country, there's always a way to win that game. And so a big part of winning is you got to eliminate losing, and that's where that's come from.
So the players here are way more athletic, and defensively, I feel that they get up into you trying to force you to make mistakes.
Rough week to start. We had a rough 8 days to start 2020. Quite frankly, you know, I think 2019, when you add starting in January of last year to December 28th this year, I believe we were 31 and I think 8 or 9 or something like that. 31 and 5, and so 31 and 6. So that's quite a phenomenal number when you're just looking at wins and losses. But we had a rough stretch for about 8 days where we lost 3 in a row. It's the first time we lost back-to-back games in 2 years, in a year and a half. And there was just a combination, I think, of a lot of things that happened. I would say number one was injuries. I'm not light into, we don't like to make excuses like that, but it's also kind of reality. And we just had one of those funks where we had 3 games in 7 days and we weren't able to pull it out. But our guys really responded in a great way. Took responsibility. We all did as a coaching staff. How can we make our guys better?
Hey, Aggies on 3, 1, 2, 3. Aggies, come on.
How can we make our team better? How can we help individual guys, you know, grow and prosper in their role and help them become the best version of themselves that they can, which is going to in turn help our team be the best team that we can be.
Brock Miller takes it and drills it. Miller hits the 3.
We've done well these last few games. You know, we had a tough one at San Diego State. You know, they're a good team. You know, I thought that, you know, we had our chances, our opportunities, and, you know, credit to them, they're just a good team.
And it takes a humble person. You know, basketball and all sports are humbling, can be very, very humbling. But I also think sports in general teach you lessons about the real world and real life. And it's never, you always want it easier than it is, but it's never as easy as you want it to be. And so in the real life, you know, you have ups and downs, you have deaths that you got to deal with. You have to have the news of someone getting cancer, and then you have the ultimate highs of, maybe your son or daughter gets married, or your son or daughter has their first child, or whatever it might be. And the bottom line is things are rarely as good as they seem to be, and rarely are they as bad as they seem to be. And it takes a special person, it takes a special team to look at yourself and say, you know what, I have to be better. And as a coach, that's my number one obligation. How can I be better to help our team? Because we're not getting the results that we want to. And it's not always just the winning or the losing, it's how we're playing. And for that 8-day stretch, we weren't playing very connected for whatever reason.
San Diego State is a really good team. I felt like we could have got them. We just made a couple mistakes down the stretch, and for us to be teams that good, we need to finish in those games and make those finishing plays.
I was a longtime beat writer, and it said this arena, and they're almost always packed at San Diego State, and of course they're undefeated right now, number 4 in the country, but it said it was the best environment since when Kawhi Leonard's teams were playing Jimmer Fredette's teams at BYU. And of course they retired Kawhi's number that night, so it was electric. I mean, it was electric in every way, shape, and form.
It just didn't turn out our way when it was all said and done.
But I think it was 39-31 at halftime. And then they made their run, which you knew they were gonna. And we kept, we stayed in the fight. And we just couldn't quite get over that hump in that game.
When it was all said and done, but I thought that we fought well, and, we'll hopefully have the opportunity to play them again come conference tournament.
What an amazing atmosphere. That will be a game our guys will always remember forever, and I think it's gonna help us down the stretch to be able to play that quality of a team the way we played them to the wire. And so we're looking forward to where we're going. And the bottom line is we want to be the best that we can be every night, both as a team and individually. And I didn't think thought we were playing hard. Didn't think we were playing very smart. Knew we were so much better than what we were playing. And I thought we allowed our opponent to dictate some things to us and get us maybe undisciplined and not playing Aggie basketball. And one of those things is we weren't sharing the ball. I don't think we were being selfish on purpose, but we just weren't doing what we were trained to do. And so, as Coach K said, Mike Krzyzewski said, I remember when I was a young coach, he said, sometimes you have to speak a language that they understand. And so we kind of got at them right at the last 2 minutes about sharing the ball, passing the ball, and stop taking 20 dribbles before you pass it, which is a little bit of an exaggeration, but not much. And so went up to the locker room and had to speak a language they understood crystal clear. As what's that guy's name in A Few Good Men said, Jack Nicholson said, is that crystal clear? Or is that clear? Yes, crystal. And so I think they got the hint.
It feels amazing. Being away from all of the physical activities I've been used to during my whole life takes a toll on me, especially mentally, and getting small, small progresses and showing that you're getting better. And last week you weren't able to bend your leg by yourself, and the next week you can, or 1 week you just can't put a lot of weight in it, and the next week you do. I feel that's really important that's really helpful. It helps a lot to have those type of progresses.
You go through a lot of things mentally, physically with his rehab, every single day being with Carl Smith, our athletic trainer, or just about every single day, going through the rigors of just simply getting the strength to bend his knee again, and then running on the underwater treadmill, and then doing all the leg lifts and then building up that ability just to get on the floor to do a workout with nobody around except the trainer. And then being able to have the confidence of jumping off of 2 feet, jumping off of 1 foot.
I can still grow so much. I can still get so much better, and that's one of the most exciting parts about me and my game, is that I can still get so much better, and I can, and when I will, and when I really get that better, I will be really, really good and really hard to stop.
In the game of basketball, it's not just, running north and south. You got to be able, especially a big guy, you're running north and south. You got to slide east and west. You got to defend the ball screen, and then you got a 270-pounder smacking you as he's posting up or climbing over your back when you're boxing out, right? And then you have all those people under the paint. It's not just the guy you're guarding, it's the guard that's flying in there for a tip dunk. It's all the traffic and commotion. And so it takes a while to get to that point athletically, but then also the trust that mentally, am I good to go? And then not only that, just the strength. People forget, when the season ended last year, he was 6'11", 7 foot, 218 pounds. And now he's up to, depending on the day, 240 to 245. So it took a little while for him to get all that strength back as well, adding that basically 30 pounds of, 20 to 30 pounds of straight muscle. So it takes time to get that too, but he's a humble guy, and I always remember, I'll never forget this day when he got hurt. And I watched the first half of the game when he got hurt in Portugal, and I was just out there the week before to watch 2 of his games. So I watched the first half, they're destroying the other team. I go up to Bear Lake with my family, we're gonna do some swimming and do that whole thing. And all of a sudden I get reception, and there's like 15 missed, text messages along with 5 missed phone calls, and I'm like, okay, what happened? And I called Nimi right away. Well, once the game got over, he goes, Coach, don't you worry about it. I'll come back stronger than ever. And the silver lining is he's been able to really strengthen up. He's really been able to strengthen up. He's really improved his stroke, meaning his shot. He's become a much better free throw shooter. And so, I anticipate he'll come back stronger than ever.
So the manager, and he was driving the baseline. Who's the fill guy?
It's an incredible group of young men that we have, and there's so many ways to coach, and there's so many duties that you have to have. Whether you're a drill sergeant or you're a father figure,
We got a birthday!
and everything in between. You hope that you're inspirational for them, but you also want them to be able to take tough coaching and be able to handle that. I've been a head coach for this is my 9th year now, and I've been so fortunate to coach so many great young men. I think the common denominator is guys being able to take ownership, because they do have ownership. It's their program, and good teams are coached by the coach, but I think great teams are coached by the players, and that means whether you're on the floor, you're in the locker room, guys taking accountability, personal responsibility for their actions. And we as coaches have to do the same thing. So many programs, coaches blame the players, players blame the coaches. And it's almost like you have 2 different teams. And we are all in this thing together, but going for the same common goal. And that's tough to do over a 6-month season. We have a month of practices before we start playing games, and then you have 31 regular season games. And we like to say, we don't have 31 games, we get to play one game 31 times.
We got one game 6 more times. That's our mindset. That's the way we're trying to go into every game. We're not worried about the Tuesday game or Saturday's game. We're just trying to be focused on the following game and just trying to attack it the way we should.
So it's a bit of a play on words, but it's true, because you're never guaranteed that next one. You never know. And so now you get to this part of the year where seniors start looking at it, and they get to play one game a guaranteed 7 more times, and it's over. And some will go on to the NBA, and some will go on to play professionally somewhere, whether it's Europe or Australia or wherever. And some will be done. And then they'll always remember the glory days where they dunked everything and they made every 3. But you know, we do run our program as a family. And I don't use that lightly. A lot of coaches will say that, oh, we're a family, or a family. No, you're not. And we make mistakes. We're vulnerable. We screw up, right? There's times we get frustrated with each other. That's normal. But we're always got each other's back through thick and thin. And it's okay, you know, if we make fun of each other every now and then, but we don't like it when someone from the outside makes fun of us. Then it's fighting words, you know? And as the head coach of our program, I can't tell you how proud I am. I look at it as a father to a son when they take accountability and don't point the finger at everybody else. Well, Johnny's not doing this, and Sam's not doing this, and Mimi's not doing this. Why am I doing that? No, like, we all have certain roles, and we're all in this thing together, and we all, you know, in good programs, some of the guys do the dirty work. In great ones, everybody does the dirty work. And just really proud of the guys in our program. And for each guy, I can talk about every guy, but like nothing will surprise me with what they do, not only a year from now, 5 years from now, but 25 years from now. We just have that special of a group.
Go Aggies.
You can go Aggies.
Go Aggies!